So who do you think's gonna write a great autobiography? One of the best poets of the 20th century, that's who. I love autobiographies and memoirs. I think they're some of the best ways to get inside the heads of people from all over the world, all walks of life, all time periods. It's the closest thing we have to time travel as well as actually getting the skin of somebody else. And this book, The Big C by Langston Hughes, is an especially important and delicious version of that because he had such an amazing life. Of course, he was such a renowned poet, but it took living a life to get to that level of poetry. He grew up poor. He had to wander the world on working on ships, which is not an easy job, but he got to see a lot more of the world that way. Then he came back to New York and worked low-level jobs, saw the systematic racism of New York and described it so well. And then he gets at the end to talk about the Harlem Renaissance, one of the great cultural movements in the history of the United States, but also of the world, a flowering of the black genius filtered through the lens of America. And so it's a phenomenal book, not only on the black experience, but also on what it takes to be a poet, where poetry comes from. What's line he says that poems are like rainbows. They disappear quickly. You have to jump on them. You have to work at them. So he talks about his process, about where these come from. And it's just a great insight into a life well lived. So I would recommend The Big C by Langston Hughes.